Hey guys, how are you doing? Merry Christmas in advance, right? Because tomorrow, Saturday, is Silent Night, and then this Sunday is Christmas, right? So, Merry Christmas to all of you first, and I hope all of you have a very happy and slowly, right? And slowly, Christmas, and then next Friday, right, will be December 30, and then is Saturday, and then is New Year Eve. So we will still have the program, and then we will say Happy New Year in advance first, right? And actually, today we will briefly talk about microns, right? Microns is you can say it's for technology, but she is making for flash memory. We know that, right? Making for DRAM and flash memory. And then the performance is really lousy, quite bad. It a little bit scared me, right? We know that then the result will not be very good, right? But the result is very bad. Actually, it's very bad. So I say it in the very beginning that I don't think that you should hold Micron at this moment, or at least then actually Micron is a good company. Micron is a good company. Samsung is a good company, right? But the point is, Micron is different from Samsung or Nvidia because she is loss. It's not earns less. The result is a loss. So actually, I do not recommend that you hold Microns at least for the coming 1 or 2 seasons, right? Then you should observe and then see. Actually, this kind of stock, right? We call it tech stock, or you can call it quite periodically, right? You can see that I will show you the trend, right? So Micron's performance is lousy. We know that the market is bad. We know that, but it's not that bad, right? Then I'll show you in a minute. Okay, our Falcon portfolio been down because yesterday it's also lousy. You know that the explanation of the market on the index up and down is also weird because they said that for the U.S. economy index is good, right? And then because it's very good or because it's good, then they are afraid the Fed will further put up the interest rate in the early of 2023. So this kind of explanation is weird, right? But we get used to it already, right? So actually, our Falcon portfolio been dropped a few percent more, and then yesterday finished it is 35%. Right. So if you guys want to hear any of the stocks, well, then you can leave your message under the YouTube, or you can directly email to me by usstockmarketweekly@gmail.com. So this is our cover, right? Micron's performance is lousy, although we know that the market is bad, right? That means her result is worse than we expected. And this is yesterday, Dow Jones, right, dropped it. Actually, it been dropped at more than 800 points, right? So this is the market, right? The market is afraid that the America's economy index is too good. They are afraid that then Fed will further put up the interest rate. Then they afraid, and then they dump the stock, right? This is what it is, right? So I just throw it away and then wait for the Christmas holiday first, right? I just throw it away and then wait for the Christmas first, and then for the New Year, and then be worry in the next year, right? Then be worry later, right? And then this is Nasdaq, right? So also dropped a lot, dropped at been nearly close to 3%, right? Quite a big drop, right? So we wait for the Christmas first, and then be happy first, and then for New Year, and then we worry in the next year. So this is our Falcon 350,000 portfolio, right? So actually, we've been further dropped it, and then 35%, and then it's level with the Nasdaq performance in between. And for the US 10-year Treasury bond yield, right, after the put up of the interest rate, then is a little bit, right, a quarter percent, right, higher than 1 week before. 1 week before is 3.456, right? Very easy to remember. 3.456% increased to 3.691%. So we share some headlines first, right? Then actually now is holiday already, right? I think that a lot of people is holiday already, right? Today is Friday. So actually remember to put on your mask, right? Because there is triple demic, right? What is a triple demic? First is the COVID-19, right? Still there in America. And then the second is the flu. And third is a lot of variant, and also is another outbreak in China. So remember to put on your mask first to protect yourself, right? At least during the holiday. And then the second thing is for Microsoft to acquire Activision. Actually, if you ask me, is it monopoly for Microsoft? I would say that to a certain extent it is. Because I've been playing video game for more than 20 years, then I know that now if you need to have a good video game, the server is very important, especially for online games, or sometimes the game will have the main game and then a DLC, and then you can also pay it online, right? Normally it's like that. Or also you can put it into a mobile version. That means you can put it on the Microsoft, on the PC, on the Xbox, and then on the PlayStation, or maybe also in the in Nintendo, and also finally come up to online paying multiplayer, and then on your mobile phone, right? So all you put those, then you will earn the money, right? Selling for the digital version, hard copy version, and then for online paying, and then for DLC. Sometimes they will further charge you, or they will include it in the deluxe version, right? But the point is like that is, I just mentioned server is very important. If you do not have the server, everything, especially for multiplayer, no use. And then for if you want to update it, you also need to have a server, right? But the point is, Microsoft has her own Azure. So that means for the activation, they will save a lot of money for renting the server. This kind of advantage you cannot copy. Why? Because it costs you a lot of money. It will cost you a lot of money, a lot of capitals like that. So if you ask me, and Microsoft now is the second or the third server provider in America or in the whole world. The first one is Amazon. The second one should be Microsoft, and then is the Google. Right. So this is a kind of monopoly, but not up to only Microsoft, right? But it's very close to like that. In a kind word, you can say that this is a mode. But in another word, mode is a monopoly. That means then you reduce or hurt the competition. No competitors. Because they have to rent the server, and then the money they have to spend, the expenditure is very high. The company may not afford it, and then they will lose and then close the company, right? So you can see that, all right? The acquisition is costed 16.7 billion US dollar, right? Microsoft can pay it; she is very rich, right? And for the Justice Department, and then they mentioned that 2 decades before, right? That means maybe I'm still studying in the higher school, right? And then the dominance of Windows in the OS system. That means for the Windows system. Yes, that is very obvious. That is very obvious. It's a monopoly, right? Google is a monopoly, right? Quite a monopoly. Apple is a monopoly because iOS is closed. So if Microsoft acquire Activision, and then she can have a lot of advantage over the others. The main issue is for the similar competitors or the starters. No one can start because you don't have enough money, or you don't have a large sum of money. If you have a large sum of money, you no need to operate a business because you are also rich, right? So we'll see, right? And then the saying is that the deal will not harm competition. I do not agree to that. Not 100%. I know that, but maybe 80%, right? So you can see that which one is challenging is the US regulators antitrust department is checking with her, right? And another one is for the Tesla shares, right? And Elon Musk said, okay, I will dump up to this moment. I will not further sell I will not further sell Tesla's shares until 2024. That means after 1 year. If you ask me my comment, don't listen to what they said. Just see what they did. The fact is they are selling the stock. Not only one time, many times. Not a small amount, but a big amount on that, right? If the company CEO or a lot of senior management people selling the stock, then you should not hold as well. Just monitor, see what they did. Don't listen to what they said. This is my comment. All right. Okay, then we start the Micron. This is also Micron factory and the office, but this is in Shanghai. Micron was found in 44 years before, 1978. It's an American company. So you can see that for the Micron stock, we all know that in this year, actually it's bad. You can see that the stock prices after 2022 drop. And then it bounced up and then further drop again because the performance is lousy. All right. The PE ratio is very high, less than 9. But for tech stock, that means this company may have some problem. Right? We can see that Samsung is also dropped a lot. But the stock graph is better than Micron. You can see that. And also we look at NVIDIA. Also bad, right? But it bounced back. It's bad, but it bounced back. And the PE ratio, not to just few percent as the Simon Property, right? We are not talking about Simon Property. We are talking about tech stock, right? So single digit has a problem. So I'll show you this kind of tech stock. No matter is Taiwan Semiconductor, Micron, NVIDIA, AMD is a periodic stock. You can see that. I just draw you a red line. Periodic. Right? That's what it is. You have to admire that. You can see that their profit demand, wow, because of technology, goes up sharply. But other people will start to catch up and then they drop. And then they have another uptime and then they rise up and then they drop. This is like a periodic table. You can see that, right? So do not buy it at the tip. Just draw a graph by yourself. This is for the revenue. And then you can see that for DRAM. So what Micron produce? DRAM, flash memory, and CMOS for hard drive. That's what it is. Right? That's what it is. So you can see that for Micron, SK Hynix, this is Korea. Samsung also Korea. you can see that no matter how their revenue dropped, they have to keep the capital expenditure. They have to keep the research. They have to keep the capital expenditure. Otherwise, if their technology is left behind, then there's no value. So you can see that the revenue is dropping. All right, 2022, 2021, 2022, dropping. Right, from 2021 to 2022 is dropping. Right, but the capital expenditure still need to go up. All three companies. So you see that the rule of this kind of business is like that, right? And this is for NAND. That means it's for the flash memory. Same case, you can see that capital expenditure has to go up, and then the revenue, although going down. Only one exception is the capital expenditure of Samsung dropped it. I don't know why. And of course, the revenue dropped a lot. So you can see that this is for the DRAM shipment, not the revenue, dropped it dramatically. You can see that, right? In 2000, the first and second quarter of this year, right? Because maybe for Ukraine or the inflation, right? Both of three of them, Samsung, Micron, and SK Hynix, right? But actually, for the Micron is the smallest one. Of course, Samsung is very big, right? And then SK Hynix is also very big, right? Also in Korea. So this is for revenue. So you can see the periodical trend. Periodical trend is like that, right? So it's not trend. Periodical trend is like that, right? Go up, down, go up, and down. You can see that the big drop, that is for the revenue. And for the DRAM is the selling price, right? You can see that the selling price also dropping, three of them. So you can see that the selling price difference is very big. Technology is like that, right? When it first come out, and then the price very high, and then goes down, and then new things come up, competition come in, goes down, and then the market not good or goes down. This report is few days before, and this is for the quarter ended December 1st, right? That means from September to October and then to November, right? I have just made the red circles for you. You can see that the revenue nearly dropped at half, right? Dropped at 45%, something like that, right? Compared to 1 year before. And we can see that for the net income is a loss, right? I'm totally not happy with that. It's not the net income less, it's she become loss in this quarter. You can see that 1 year before, the same quarter, the earning this is in the unit of million, 2.4 billion US dollar. And now she lost 0.19 billion US dollar, right? That means no PE, right? No PE ratio because it's a loss. And then we can see that she make up the figures for the total current asset. Seems now it's still a little bit larger than 1 year before. But take a closer look on that. You see that the inventory is much higher than 1 year before, right? Higher about 30%. And the most important thing is, if you treat the inventory at the same selling price, then it's not realistic. It's not realistic, right? The inventory, you should treat it as half of the value. Because why? Because if you cannot sell it at the correct season and correct timing, right? And then 1 quarter later, 2 quarters later, all selling price been dropped because this is technology, right? That means the other competitors drops, lower the price, you have to lower the price as well, right? So this total current asset value, not reliable, not reliable. So I also cross out the total assets figures. Cross. If you really sell out everything at this moment, I can give you my head, then you cannot get this money back. All right. So this is wrong. And also, take a look on the long-term debt, right? It's about 60%, right? Higher than 1 year before. 6.8 billion US dollar become 10 billion US dollar. But you can see that for the total liability, just increased it maybe 20%. So that's wrong, right? Look at the long-term debt, right? So it's more than 60. It's more than 60% higher than 1 year before. Then you can see that current assets decrease, long-term debt increase, and then the profit, the net income is a loss. So why should you still hold? Why should you still hold this stock? Right? I'm not saying that Micron is bad, but the result is worse than the other stock. You have to admire that because Nvidia is still earning money, AMD is still earning money, Taiwan Semiconductor is still earning money. All right, so we have to admire that. So I do not recommend you to hold Micron, right? At least for the coming 1 to 2 quarters. Right? Remember the periodic characteristic of this kind of stock. This applies not only to Micron, also apply to Nvidia, AMD. Maybe the period is longer, but the characteristic is the same. Or Taiwan Semiconductor, right? But the point is you have to have the top technology. You should have the top technology. I don't think that Micron's technology is better than Samsung, right? But she's a good company. I have to admire that, right? So this is my comment, right? No need for further investigation, right? Because this is enough for you to make the decision for Micron, right? Okay, today we share up till here and thanks for watching. And then please give us a like or comment if you like this video. So please help to subscribe and then press the bell icon next to it. So whenever there is new video uploaded by YouTube, you will get informed. Okay, I hope everyone have a very peaceful Christmas, Silent Night, and then for coming next week, New Year Eve, right? See you next week. Bye bye.